On the first day of senior year, the sky hung low and gray, threatening rain but never quite delivering. It was the kind of weather that made people feel like something significant was just around the corner. For Mia, it was the beginning of the end, the final stretch before college, adulthood, and all the uncertainties that came with them. But today, her mind wasn't on the future. It was on him. The school hallways buzzed with that unique mixture of excitement and dread that only the first day back could conjure. Mia navigated the familiar labyrinth of lockers and classrooms, her mind elsewhere. She was thinking about Alex, the boy she had liked for all of high school. Alex, with his messy hair and contagious laugh, who somehow managed to make everyone feel like they mattered. They had shared classes over the years, exchanged smiles and small talk, but Mia had never mustered up the courage to say anything more. She always found herself fumbling for words, caught in the sticky web of her own shyness. Today, she promised herself, would be different. In English class, Mia took her usual seat near the back, hoping to catch a glimpse of Alex when he walked in. Her heart skipped a beat when he did, wearing that same old leather jacket that always seemed a size too big. He scanned the room and, to her surprise, took the empty seat next to her. "Hey, Mia," he said, flashing that easy smile. "Hey, Alex," she replied, her voice wavering slightly. As the teacher droned on about Shakespeare and the syllabus, Mia found herself stealing glances at Alex. He was doodling in his notebook, completely absorbed. She wondered what it would be like to know him beyond the surface level, to understand the thoughts behind those doodles. The bell rang, snapping her out of her reverie. As she gathered her things, Alex turned to her. "Do you ride the train home?" he asked. "Yeah, I do," Mia replied, trying to keep her voice steady. "Cool. Maybe we can ride together. I hate going alone." Mia's heart raced. "Sure, that sounds nice." The rest of the day was a blur. She found herself counting down the minutes until the final bell. When it finally rang, she made her way to the train station, her heart pounding in her chest. She spotted Alex waiting on the platform, his hands stuffed in his jacket pockets. He looked up and smiled when he saw her. "Hey," he said. "Ready to go?" "Yeah," she replied, feeling a flutter of excitement. They boarded the train together, finding an empty row of seats. As the train started moving, they fell into an easy conversation. They talked about classes, teachers, and their plans for the future. Mia found herself laughing more than she had in a long time. As the train rumbled on, the sky outside grew darker, and the first drops of rain began to fall. Mia looked out the window, feeling a sense of contentment. She turned to Alex, who was watching her with an unreadable expression. "You know," he said, "I've always kind of liked you, Mia." Her heart stopped. "Really?" "Yeah," he said, smiling. "I just never knew how to tell you." Mia felt a warmth spread through her chest. "I've always liked you too, Alex." They sat in comfortable silence for the rest of the ride, the train carrying them through the rain-soaked city. When they finally reached their stop, they stepped off the train together, the rain falling in earnest now. As they walked, Alex took her hand, and Mia felt a surge of happiness. She realized that sometimes, the things you fear the most can lead to the moments you cherish the most. And so, under the cover of the rain, two hearts found each other, and Mia knew that this was just the beginning of something beautiful. As they walked hand in hand through the rain, the world around them seemed to blur into insignificance. Every raindrop felt like a punctuation mark in a story that was only just beginning to unfold. The streets were mostly empty, the occasional car splashing through puddles, sending ripples across their path. They reached a small park on the edge of town, its usually bustling playground now silent and slick with rain. Alex tugged gently on Mia's hand, leading her towards an old wooden gazebo that stood at the center. They ducked inside, shaking off the rain and laughing at the absurdity of their soggy state. "I've never been here before?" Mia said, looking around. The gazebo was charming, with ivy curling around its pillars and a wooden bench that invited them to sit. "It's my favorite spot," Alex confessed. "I come here when I need to think. It's peaceful." Mia smiled. "I can see why." They sat down on the bench, the sound of rain tapping rhythmically on the roof above them. For a moment, they just listened, each lost in their own thoughts. Mia felt a sense of calm settle over her, a stark contrast to the nervous energy she had felt all day. Alex turned to her, his eyes serious now. "Mia, there's something I've been wanting to say for a long time," he began. Mia's heart raced. "What is it?" "I've always admired you," he said softly. "You're smart, kind, and you have this quiet strength that I find inspiring. I've been too scared to say anything because I didn't want to risk our friendship, but I can't keep it to myself anymore." Mia felt her cheeks flush, warmth spreading from her chest to her fingertips. "I've felt the same way," she admitted. "I've always thought you were incredible, but I didn't know if you felt the same." Alex smiled, a look of relief washing over his face. "I'm glad we're on the same page." They sat in silence for a moment, the rain continuing its steady rhythm. Mia felt a sense of contentment settle over her, like a puzzle piece finally clicking into place. She realized that this moment, sitting here with Alex, was exactly what she had been hoping for all along. "Do you want to go to the fall dance with me?" Alex asked, breaking the silence. Mia's heart skipped a beat. "I'd love to," she replied, a smile spreading across her face. They spent the rest of the afternoon talking, sharing stories and dreams, their connection growing deeper with every word. As the rain began to let up, they reluctantly left the gazebo, but the feeling of warmth and happiness stayed with them. When they finally reached Mia's house, they stood on the front porch, reluctant to say goodbye. "I had a really great time today," Alex said, his hand still clasped around hers. "Me too," Mia replied. "It was perfect." Alex leaned in, his lips brushing lightly against hers in a gentle kiss that sent sparks flying through her. When they finally pulled away, they both wore matching smiles. "Good night, Mia," Alex said softly. "Good night, Alex," she replied. As she watched him walk away, Mia felt a sense of anticipation for the future, a future that now seemed a little less uncertain and a lot more exciting. She knew that this was just the beginning of their story, and she couldn't wait to see where it would take them. With a contented sigh, Mia turned and walked into her house, her heart full and her mind at ease. The last train home had brought her more than just a journey. It had brought her the start of something beautiful, something real. And for the first time in a long time, she felt like everything was exactly as it should be. Mia closed the front door behind her, the warmth of her home contrasting sharply with the chilled air outside. She leaned against the door, replaying the day's events in her mind, a smile lingering on her lips. It felt like a dream, one she never wanted to wake from. As she climbed the stairs to her room, she heard the faint buzz of her phone vibrating in her pocket. Pulling it out, she saw a text from an unknown number. Her heart skipped a beat as she opened the message. "Meet me at the gazebo." Confusion clouded her happiness. She quickly typed a response. "Alex, did you change your number?" Almost immediately, another message came through. "Hurry, it's important." A shiver ran down Mia's spine. She glanced out the window, the rain now reduced to a light drizzle. Something didn't feel right, but curiosity gnawed at her. She grabbed her jacket and slipped back outside, making her way to the park. The streets were eerily quiet, the only sound the soft splatter of rain against the pavement. As she approached the gazebo, she saw a figure standing in the shadows. Her heart pounded in her chest. "Alex?" she called out, stepping closer. The figure turned, and Mia's breath caught in her throat. It wasn't Alex. It was someone else entirely. Someone she recognized but hadn't seen in years. "Hey, Mia," the person said, their voice a chilling whisper. "Jake?" she stammered, her mind racing. Jake had moved away in middle school, and they had lost touch. Why was he here now? Jake stepped into the light, his expression serious. "I need to talk to you. It's about Alex." Mia's mind spun with questions, but before she could ask any, Jake continued. "There's something you don't know about him, something important. I didn't want to involve you, but you need to hear this." The air crackled with tension, and Mia felt a sinking feeling in her stomach. "What do you mean? What's going on?" Jake took a deep breath, his eyes locking onto hers. "Alex isn't who you think he is. There's a lot more to his story, and you're in danger. We need to leave now." Mia's blood ran cold. She glanced around the park, a sense of dread settling over her. "What are you talking about? Why should I trust you?" "Because," Jake said, his voice urgent, "I'm the only one who can keep you safe." Mia's mind raced as the weight of his words sank in. Everything she thought she knew was suddenly thrown into question. The world felt like it was spinning out of control, and she had no idea what to believe. As she stood there, caught between fear and confusion, she realized that her journey with Alex was far from over. In fact, it had only just begun. And whatever lay ahead, she had a feeling it was going to change everything. The rain began to fall harder, drenching them both as they stood in the dim light of the gazebo. Mia took a deep breath, steeling herself for whatever came next. "Okay," she said finally. "Tell me everything." And as Jake began to speak, Mia knew that her life was about to take a turn she never could have imagined.